Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Small Talk. We have a lot to cover in this video, from tariffs to China's retaliatory tariffs, from Jerome Powell's speech and his press conference today. Let's dive into this. So first thing first, we all know this tariff drama has been going on for a little over a month now. And initially, Donald Trump has been saying that this is a negotiation tactic, and he's going to use tariff as his negotiation tool. But then later on, he said the tariffs are fair, and he's going to put tariffs on all the imports coming into the US from all these countries, which have been taking advantage of it. So he took like a 100-degree turn. And then market was not expecting the tariffs to be as aggressive as he initiated in his meeting yesterday, which just blew everybody's mind, and market was kind of freaking out. Then this morning, the news came up that China has imposed 34% or 35% tariff, I think it's 34% tariff on all the imports coming from the US, which is going to cause lots of turmoil in the stock market and in the economy as a whole. Some of the countries came forward because they started negotiating with Donald Trump on the tariffs, and they promised to get rid of their tariffs, which kind of made some of the retail companies turn green in the stock market this morning. So let's dissect into all of those one by one. He has imposed 10% flat tariff on all the countries, and then specifically in some of the countries, which includes China, Mexico, Canada, he has high tariffs that he imposed on them. And as a result, the stock market crashed yesterday. People freaked out. Investors took their money out. The stock market was going up, and then they just turned back down, because at the end of the day, all the investors, they decided maybe we should just take our money out. During the daytime, market was going up, which means most of the retailers thought that it was a buy the dip opportunity, because I think everybody's convinced that at the end, finally, everything is going to work out and we're going to have free trade. And these are the tariffs that Donald Trump has put to negotiate with other countries, so he can come to the common terms with all those, and he's just waiting for them to come forward. However, if he then towards the end of the day, the stock market went right down and it turned red, and that kind of shows indication that all the large hedge funds and ETF managers are actually thinking that maybe it's time to get the hell out of the market until the storm settles a little bit, and then see which direction this tariff drama settles. Next thing I wanted to talk about is Tesla. Tesla is my all-time darling, and it has been my darling all along, and it still is. I'm not bearish on it, but the short term, I think there's a lot going on in Tesla's world. People are retaliating against CEO Elon Musk because of his involvement in Doge and Department of Government Efficiency, and the things that he's been doing. People are not liking it. I was reading an article yesterday, and it said Elon Musk's welcome in Washington DC has been overstayed, and it's time for him to wrap up his tent and leave the White House. There was also news that maybe Elon Musk might be leaving Doge soon, because his 100 days special government employee are over, and towards the end of June or first week of July, he will have to leave the White House, and then he'll be focusing on his companies in full, which in return, Tesla went up 5%, but then right after tariff drama, it just collapsed right back. It went down and like 5%. So that's that. And also the CEOs, the deliveries for this past quarter, they only had 33,000 deliveries, which had a miss by 10,000 deliveries in the stock market was expecting. As a result, this is the lowest deliveries that Tesla has ever done, and it's lot lower than what they had delivered in the last quarter, last year, same quarter in 2024, which but market kind of brushed that off, and it was still going up with the news that Elon Musk may be leaving Doge and White House, and that kind of put some enthusiasm towards Tesla, and Tesla was going green, and it was a boost for Tesla. But then tariff drama started, and then this morning when China news came out, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and by 6 o'clock, I'm still fasting, because this is another month where we do 6 fasts. So I wake up early, and then after I did my Fajr prayer, I checked the news and I saw, oops, China imposed 34% tariff on all the imports coming from the US, which of course is going to have a lot of impact on Tesla as a company, because Tesla's largest international, among all the countries, China is one of the largest market for Tesla, and it's going to make Tesla suffer. So Tesla crashed, and then gradually, as the day started, the entire market just kind of got bombarded with the blood in the market. If you watched my last video, I did say one of the two things are going to happen. Either other companies are going to impose retaliatory tariffs, tit for tat tariffs, and this drama will keep going back and forth. In return, Donald Trump will impose more tariffs, then they'll come forward and they'll impose more tariffs, and then finally all these companies will have to come to common terms. Or when Donald Trump announces the tariffs that he's going to impose, countries will come forward, they'll take a few phone calls, and they will negotiate, and they'll come to, okay, let's talk about this and make it work for both countries, and it will be settled. I was 50-50 because nobody honestly knew what's going to happen. And the first scenario came true this morning. The first thing in the morning, China announced that they're going to impose 34% tariff, and the tariffs are going to start on April 10th. And now it kind of looks like some of the other countries are going to follow suit, because it's going to give them the freedom. Okay, if China can do it, maybe we can do it too. China is a very special case because we have lots of production that takes place in China. Our factories are in China, and then we import lots of stuff from China. And China has been the biggest competitor as an economy to the US, even though the US is the largest economy in the world, but China is coming very close to the US. And they've always been with the mindset that they don't take any nonsense from anybody. And that's why China is important, especially for automakers. China's lots of their parts are being manufactured there. I mean, Tesla in general has their gigafactory in China, which they have a large amount of production, and they sell lots of cars in China compared to all the other countries in the world. Though Tesla has the largest addressable market in the US, but across the globe, among all the countries that they sell the cars to, China is their largest market after US, which is going to hurt Tesla quite a bit. So Tesla stock has been dropping, but I think compared to the rest of the market, it has been pretty stable yesterday, but today it dropped more after the China news. Also, somebody else confirmed the news this morning that maybe Elon Musk is leaving Doge very soon, because he wants to focus on his company. And for the past, since he took over this job as a special government employee, his company has been suffering and people have been backlashing at him. And Elon Musk being the face of Tesla and being the largest shareholder in Tesla, when one suffers, the other one suffers automatically. So it's like it has a large impact on company and as Elon Musk, depending on who's suffering and who's happy. So it goes both ways. But everybody was looking forward to their updated version Model Y and their under $30,000 new vehicle that they announced, which I think still in play. I think it's going to be taken care of in the second part of the year. They're going to have FSDs in Austin, Texas, and in California eventually, and the ride-hailing is also under progress. It's still, Tesla is a very strong buy. The analyst price rating is still strong buy and strong hold. There are 10 who has like strong sell, but most of them, 16 is like strong buy, and 10 of them are like hold. So, and the largest price target is still 550 in the next 12 months, which is very bullish for Tesla. But I think in the short term, Tesla is no exception. Everything else is dropping because of the tariff fears. Nobody knows what's going to take place. Nobody knows what Donald Trump is going to do, what other countries are going to do, which is causing lots of fear in the market. And I think some of the stocks are actually, I think they have bottomed. I'm going to wait until mid next week, and I'm going to nibble into some of the shares. I actually did buy some shares today of some of the companies that I wanted to average down, which I did, and I'm happy that I did that, because right after I bought them, they started climbing, which was a good sign for me. Next I wanted to talk about is Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been pretty stable compared to the rest of the market. It was at $85,000 early this morning. After China news came out, it dropped to $82,000. But I think, as I told you before, I am still waiting for Bitcoin to drop more, because it's a very expensive digital asset. And in order for me to buy a Bitcoin, I have to make sure that I enter at the right price. So I'm going to be very patient with it. And I think with this, if this tariff drama doesn't get settled within the next couple of weeks, I feel like Bitcoin is going to take a hit as well. And then it seems harder and harder to hit the $100,000 mark right now in this market. So I'm waiting for it to go down a little bit more so I can invest into Bitcoin and be an asset holder, which has been my dream forever. And I just missed it last time, but I don't want to miss it this time. So I'm closely monitoring it. So if you have some money sitting on the sideline, hold on to this. I think it's going to drop a little bit more. But if it goes down to mid 65, I'll be happy to buy at least one coin, if not more. So that's my goal for the Bitcoin. I think it might go down again. Nobody knows 100% exactly what's going to happen. If somebody is telling you what they expect is going to happen, they're just making up stuff. Nobody is sure. However, I have a feeling that before it starts climbing up again, it has to drop a little bit more before it climbs up. So once it drops, I will definitely buy it. It's a promise, and I will let you know when I buy a coin. I also looked at Uber. I am very interested in Uber because I wanted to buy Uber share. My husband is heavily invested into Uber. As I told you, he worked for Uber, so he got lots of equity as a executive of Uber at the time. And it has been very helpful for us because stock was doing great, but now it's dropping again. So I'm actually glad that it's going down because I want to buy some Uber shares, but I'm still waiting. I'm being patient. I think it's going to drop a little bit more. It almost hit my price target. I have my price target set at $59. It went down to, I think, 65, so I'm like $6 away. I have a feeling if this tariff drama doesn't get settled over the weekend, it's going to go up. Palantir, my God, I woke up this morning and Palantir was at $82, and I was this tempted at 7 o'clock that I should buy it because it has dropped. So when I was like, you know what, and I saw China's news and I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna hold and wait, because with this news, the stock market has to crash, and that was expected. And last time I checked, it was like, I think at $71, which made me very happy. Actually, I was talking to one of my uncles, he invests in the stock market. And I said to him, maybe it's time for us to buy Palantir. And he said, no, I'll buy back when it goes down to $35. And I said, I don't think it's going to happen. He said, well, you don't know that because it ran up so much. And I think all the juice has been taken out of it. And now it has to drop before it runs back up again. So it seems like his prediction may be coming true. It may not hit 35, but maybe $55 or $65 is possible. So if it drops, I'm definitely going to buy Palantir. And I'm also going to buy NVIDIA. NVIDIA has gone down quite a bit as well. It was under $100 in a long time. It has already dropped 30% just alone in this past month. So all these equities are looking very juicy. If you had some dry powder on the side, I think time to consider buying the dip right now. Maybe not immediately, just see which direction tariffs are going. However, I bought some yesterday, I bought some today, some of the shares that I wanted to buy, and I wanted to average down some of my positions, and I'm pleased that I did that. I will also definitely be buying some more next week if it stays red. Even if it turns green, I might still buy some because it has gone down so much that at this point the prices look very reasonable. Next, I want to talk about Jerome Powell's press conference today. Everybody was expecting, actually Donald Trump asked him to lower the interest rates. And I was not expecting Jerome Powell to lower the rates because the job data this morning came pretty strong, and which is a good thing for the economy. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think analysts were expecting $140,000 job, a little over 140, but we had 230-ish in that range job. I don't know the exact numbers, just fact check me on that. But it was a lot higher than what the stock market was expecting. So I didn't expect Jerome Powell to cut interest rates, but I know Donald Trump had made a special request to Jay Powell that you should cut interest rates so it could give a boost to the economy. And when he came, he said exactly that everything looks still pretty good and we're not in a rush to cut rates. Everything is under control. We're going to sit back and we're going to see which direction data goes. How the tariff, I mean, he didn't mention much about tariff, and that was expected. So that didn't do much for the stock market, and it ended with some funny, jokes. The press conference finally closed. So what to expect going forward next week? I have a feeling on this weekend, I think some of the countries will come forward and they will negotiate with Donald Trump on tariffs. Next week will also be negotiations. Some countries will do retaliation tariffs. They will impose more tariffs on them. And then Donald Trump, being Donald Trump, he doesn't back off. He's just going to keep adding more tariffs because he's notorious like this. And then finally, when other countries realize there's no end to this nonsense, they are going to eventually come forward to negotiate. I was also reading an article yesterday which said that Donald Trump's tariffs are going to increase prices and it's going to still harm middle class. So the tax cut or the tax increase that are going to take place on tariffs is going to be more. The 80% middle class families are going to suffer, whereas the top rich billionaires are going to get the most benefit with Donald Trump's tax cuts. Sure, with the exception of that $150,000 no tax income, everything else is going to be highly taxed, and the majority of the people, the bottom 80% people, are going to suffer with this, and they don't get any benefit out of it. I always knew that Donald Trump is all for rich. In fact, every politician is all for rich. The system in this country has been designed, or in fact globally has been designed, to make the rich richer and keep the poor poorer. So that's exactly what Donald Trump is going to do. An average common man thinks, oh, $150,000 no tax, hooray, Donald Trump is the hero. But they don't realize the benefit that you're getting is going to be washed off with the inflation that he's causing with all the tariffs. I am all up for free trade. I think there should be free trade. If other countries have been imposing tariffs on us, that's also wrong. So tit for tat is not a good strategy. I think they should sit down and have a table talk and come to the common terms and conclusion. And then they should all waive tariffs. Everybody can coexist in this global economy and everybody can trade freely. I think we're going to go back to free trading eventually if Donald Trump keeps being stubborn and he doesn't waive the tariffs. I think the next administration that takes over, which I hope is not Donald Trump. I know he's been requesting to have a third term, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I'm almost certain the next term is going to be a Democrat winner. And if not right away, within the first 100 days, I think they're going to waive the tariffs and they're going to go back to free economy. So up until then, I think things are going to be painful, not necessarily in the stock market, but inflation wise, people are going to still struggle to pay their bills. People will lose jobs, companies will lay off, all that nonsense is going to take place. And the problem is sometimes Donald Trump is a negotiator, and he thinks that he can run the country like his business. And unfortunately, you cannot do this. You own the business. That's your property. This country is not something that you own. This country is for everyone. The whole, the American public lives here, and you cannot make decisions based off of what you think how you ran your business is going to work for this country as well. But the problem is all the people that he has fired and replaced them with the people, they're all his puppets and they don't want to say anything to him. I was reading it somewhere that even his own staff is afraid to tell him that whatever he's doing is the wrong thing to do. I'm not being political here, but there are certain things that I guess somebody has to speak about it. And this is one thing that I want to speak about and let you guys know that whatever Donald Trump is doing is notorious. It's going to cause lots of pain, not only in the stock market, but in everyday lives of every average American. There's going to be a huge inflation crisis, and hopefully, let's have my fingers crossed that we don't hit recession. I was of the opinion that we've already lived through recession. We've already been there, done that in the past. Since COVID recession period is over. Of course, there was a COVID recession, but I think we have had recession throughout the next 2 or 3 years, which we didn't feel the pain as much as we should have, because it was, as they say, a smooth landing, or whatever the term they use anyways. So I never thought that we'll hit recession again, but with this tariff drama, I feel like if things keep going the way they are going, it is going to be an Armageddon, as Dan Ives said of Wedbush, that if this tariff nonsense keeps going on, it's going to be an Armageddon for the tech, not only, in my opinion, not only tech, but the economy as a whole. If you haven't watched my videos on economy and economic crisis and central bank and Federal Reserve, please watch those videos. It will give you some insight of how the economic system works in the world, and particularly in the US, and how these big mouths who open their mouth and they change the destiny of the entire country, how they manipulate and control the economy of not only this country, but also the global economy as well. So it's not only going to impact the stock market, it's not the Armageddon for tech stocks only, it's an Armageddon for average American, and they're going to be suffering because of inflation, because of the high taxes, because of the loss of their jobs. Companies are going to suffer because they won't be able to keep their staff, they'll have to lay off people, their reputation is going to ruin, they're going to suffer losses, and this is not going to get better. It's going to get uglier and worse. So I'm hoping that countries come forward this weekend and they start negotiation. I have not checked the news in past 2 hours because I was busy cooking dinner. I'm sure a lot has happened in the past 2 hours. Once I read those news, I'll make an updated video. I hope this insight helped. So for Tesla, I think if it keeps going down, I'm definitely going to add more because I'm very bullish on Tesla because of their FSD, because of their robo taxi or ride hailing, because of their humanoid robots. I think Tesla is literally a $2 trillion company. There's no doubt in my mind. But in the short term, everybody is suffering. So is Tesla. Once Elon Musk leaves Doge, that's going to give all the investors they're going to take a sigh of relief, and they'll start buying back in. Retail is already of the mindset that maybe it's time to buy the dip, whereas the large investors and large institutions are of the mindset that maybe this is not the right time and they're trying to get out of market for now. Or maybe their clients are putting pressure on them that they need to get out before until the things settle. So they kind of have to keep their clients pleased as well. So I have my fingers crossed. Let's watch and see what happens. I'll keep uploading the updated videos this weekend. And I hope you guys all be strong, don't panic sell. There are some companies like, for example, Tesla. If you own Tesla, Palantir, Nvidia, Uber, hold on to them. The little bit of loss that you're facing right now, if you have the money, buy more shares, and then they will eventually start going up and you'll make money. So I'm holding all my stocks. I haven't sold any single one of my positions right now. If anything, I'm actually adding more to my positions because I have a feeling that it's most likely just a negotiation tactic, and the stock market is going to go up after a few weeks of back and forth tariffs and talks and everything. Then I think we're gonna go back to free trade anyway. So until next video, please be safe out there. Please play smart. Don't invest the money that you're not willing to lose, and keep your jobs if you can. Try not to lose your job because it's a very crucial time. Economy is at the blink of almost hitting recession. I hate to say this. I am not bearish usually. I don't like to sound bearish, but sometimes if the situation looks like it might happen, then you have to say it. We all hope that we don't hit recession, but there's always a possibility. Please give my video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Until next video, take care and be safe out there and make some money.